T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff.
So, you've got 30 minutes to kill, and you chose to kill it with us. Well, we know your time is valuable, and our time is priceless or worthless or something, or I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sports and Other Stuff. Now, here are the Sports Weasels, Lugs, J-Boy, and T-Dog.
Yes, sir, gentlemen. Welcome to Sports and Other Stuff, the dulcet tones of our good friend John Young. Here's what we have today. College football. Goodbye, Iowa, as Purdue shocks the world. And hello, Cincinnati in the top 4. Tennessee fans go crazy. LSU says, see you later, Gojo. And in the NFL, the Cardinals are undefeated. Lamar and company spank Justin and the Chargers. And don't look now, but the Jaguars win their first game. Hey, happy 101st episode, T-Dog Lugs. Hey, man, get us started with this. Here we go. Let's do it.
Well, I guess we can go with college football since you had some real shockers. Purdue whacking Iowa. My favorite headline, I think it was in the Lafayette newspaper. It said, Purdue knocks the number 2 out of Iowa. So I thought that was perfect. So, but Purdue has a history, believe it or not, of beating ranked teams at number 2. So, hey, Jeff Brom, hometown kid, friend of the show. So we should let me dial him up here. I'll get him on the line here. But you go ahead, T-Dog. You were a witness to some of that fine Indiana football this weekend, as I'm told.
But wait a minute, back up. You were reading the Lafayette Times, man? That's what I want to talk about right there. The Lafayette Times? Seriously?
Well, what happens when you go to the interweb, stuff just pops up. And I thought, I got to see this. And so I did.
Okay, duly noted. Okay, T-Dog, take it away, man.
Well, I gotta say, just another Saturday, another soul-crushing loss for IU. They play again. I think the thing that's frustrating is their defense in this year has played well. It's just their offense is just bad. It's just bad, regardless of who the quarterback is. It could be Penix, it could be Tuttle. Doesn't matter. It's not going to be great.
Well, Tuttle did him in there with that one interception that I don't even know who even know who he was throwing to. I think he was throwing to somebody out of bounds or something. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. He's definitely more consistent thrower in terms of his accuracy than Penix has been this year, but he doesn't have movement skills. He seems very how I'm going to say this. Skittish. He's very skittish. He's very skittish. I know their offensive line isn't good at IU, but he isn't willing to take hits. It feels like, and he's running it in, like you said, he just tosses it up. Well, actually, to be fair, the what you were saying, the pick six was a great. It was a mug look by Michigan State where the linebacker looked like he was going to blitz. And then when he peeled out, Tuttle, again, he probably didn't see him. When he peeled out, that linebacker dropped in a zone because he knew essentially, and again, it's a sign that people know IU's offense. He dropped into a spot where he's like, this is where the play usually goes. And sure enough, Cal Holiday grabbed it and ran it in 30 yards for a touchdown. But they had the half. They had the half they had the lead at the half. They were up 9-7 on 3 field goals because Lord knows they can't punch in a touchdown. And if you look at the stats at the half, the defense stymied Michigan State's offense, who just came off a 300-yard passer, 200-yard receiver, and 200-yard rusher. Kenneth Walker, not to say he's not still out in the running for maybe being a Heisman, but against IU, it definitely took a hit. But it really came down to it in the second half. Like, I think Mel Tucker is just like, guys, they cannot score touchdowns. All we have to do is score one more touchdown, and this is over. And sure enough, he was right. So,
and it was a good crowd at Memorial Stadium, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Memorial Stadium was fairly packed, and they were very vocal in their hatred of certain calls that went against IU.
Little profanity, maybe.
But just like the Cincinnati game, they played well enough to win, but just credit to the defense of Michigan State, just like Cincinnati, and generating turnovers and scoring points off their turnovers, particularly touchdowns and not just field goals.
And did you run into Don Fisher, friend of the show? Speaking of the voice of the Indiana Hoosiers, Don Fisher?
No, maybe hopefully next week against Ohio State, I will, but
give him our best.
I'll try to look for him. Yeah, I will.
No, thank you. Lugs, go ahead. Take it away.
I was just going to say, speaking of defense, that Georgia defense has to be the best college defense I have ever seen, and maybe ever, period. Kentucky looked pedestrian at best. Had one moment right at the end of the first half where I think Liam Cohen finally broke out some of the pro plays where they did a bunch of misdirection and scored a touchdown. Other than that, I'm telling you, it was, the Georgia defensive line was in the backfield quicker than the backs could get out. You know, it was like it was just wild. I have not seen, they'll have, I would think, at least 7 people off that defense that will start in the NFL next year. It's just crazy how good they are.
And Kentucky has a chance of going 10-1, maybe. What do you guys say?
They'll have a good season. I don't know.
Don't know yet.
Of course, it's against Georgia, and I think Georgia and Alabama will come down to it in the SEC. And I'd have to put money on Georgia at this point just because of the defense. But go ahead, T.
No, I was going to say, I don't know. I think UK has been very impressive with their win against Florida, which I know, I guess we'll talk about probably a little bit the LSU Florida game. Obviously, LSU beating them takes a little steam out of it, but the way they dolly-whopped LSU too. UK is legitimately a good team. It's just like kind of what you've echoing what you said, Lugs. It's just Georgia is the team that is on a completely different tier than any other team in college football right now. To watch that field goal block, I think it's one of the most absurd field goal blocks I've ever seen, because we've seen field goal blocks. I don't know if I've seen like possibly 3 people blocking the field goal. Like, that's how explosive they were coming through the line. There was 3 guys that shot through one gap, it seemed like, to block it. So I don't think of it. And then at the end of the game, they blocked the extra point. It's just, and I know I give them a lot of crap, but like Stetson Bennett played very well. And let me tell you, that Brock Bowers tight end for Georgia, holy crap.
He's a monster.
That first touchdown that Stetson Bennett had to him, perfect throw, maybe a better catch where it's just a high point. And the coverage was fairly good. I just think Bowers is just that talented. None of their running backs individually went off because they just don't need to. It was a very impressive showing. UK obviously shouldn't feel bad about getting kind of blown out by 17. Just Georgia's that good. There's no other team they're going to encounter at all. Even when they get into a bowl game, UK is not going to face anyone close to Georgia.
Speaking of UK and the former, anyway, LSU, that was a good win for Coach O, but it wasn't good enough. That was just crazy. You come off of a win, and then you basically, sorry, we're done with you. 2 years ago, the man won a national championship. Now, I don't feel too sorry for him because he does get $17 million. But I think it was more behind the scenes than it was on the field is the reason they got rid of him.
Well, again, I think Orgeron, like obviously you can never take away the championship. He was there, but you look at a lot of his stunts beforehand, he never really lasted anywhere that long. He, you know, that offense 2 years ago is considered by a lot the best offense ever, and it's kind of hard to disagree. I don't know. I feel bad for the guy, but like kind of like you said, like you have to, you know, you have to consistently win at a high level at LSU. It's one of those top tier programs. And, you know, it's not that they're not going to get a good candidate because, again, USC jobs open and the LSU jobs open. But here's like, if you want to do quick bullet points on which one's more attractive, the last three coaches, the coach at LSU have won a national championship. You can clearly not say that about USC. Like there, as much as the history that USC has, I guess in length in comparison to LSU, in recent history, USC and LSU are not even close. LSU is far above USC.
So Big Ed Orgeron will get $17 million. Thanks for participating. But also, do you think they announced earlier, there's a theory going around, to get the best candidate now and start lining them up? And Lugs, you have a theory about this.
Well, I think they had already planned it. Apparently, according to reports that I've read, Orgeron would bring women that he's dating to the practice facilities and have their children work out with the team. There was just, I'm telling you, Coach O, you got to get down to it, buddy. Come on now. He was just, it was like a guy who was determined to screw up.
Well, wait a minute. Hanky Panky in the SEC? Seriously?
Oh, well, you know, it might happen. Who knows?
You had a thought about Dabo, right?
Oh, yeah. I think that they can seriously go for Dabo because that would put Dabo in the catbird seat. And I guarantee you the defensive players from Clemson would follow Dabo to LSU. And that would shore up LSU's defense. And there's enough of the offense there to make that work. And, you know,
30 seconds on why the LSU job is a better job than Clemson. Go. Why?
Well, facilities, if nothing else, plus just the payday. Dabo would probably get at least 10, maybe 12 million to go there. All of his coaches would want to go. And Clemson is always going to be in the ACC, which pretty much guarantees them a shot at a serious bowl game. But by the same token, guys like that are so competitive, they want to be judged on the big game against the big opponent. And so I think they got a shot at him. I'm hearing the guy at Michigan State may be the front runner, though, actually. So,
Tucker?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, it beats Forrest Tucker, that's who I thought they were going to go for, Forrest Tucker. All right, look, T-Dog, tell me about that. Clemson versus LSU.
I don't completely agree with. I'm not saying that LSU is not a better job in a vacuum than Clemson. I do agree with Lugs on that. I just think where, for the most part, Dabo's built up Clemson, I don't see him leaving Clemson. I think the only job that Dabo leaves Clemson for, and I don't know how much their age disparity is. I think because obviously he was an Alabama guy. I think he might go to Alabama. Other than Alabama, I don't see Dabo leaving. It's not that LSU isn't a better job than Clemson. I agree with Lugs on that, but I just think when you put in the work that he has to develop Clemson to where it's as, you don't leave for LSU because it is above it, but it's not that far above it. And there's no sentimental, like where maybe there is with Alabama. So, but I was just going to say, thank